Next up, as farmers head into the fields to start planting, we checked in with Nebraska Extension plant pathologist Tamra Jackson-Ziems for an update on corn and soybean diseases that she's expecting to see in 2020.
Well, every year we caution producers, we have a lot of acres to get over, and, the soil temperatures are still pretty cool in a lot of areas. And we should just keep in mind that even though corn can germinate and soybeans too at 50 degrees, that's well below optimal. And so in many cases, it helps us from the disease perspective to plant when conditions are a little bit warmer. And so if they're forced to plant during cool, wet conditions, just know your chances of getting some of those seedling diseases early in the season in both corn and soybean are higher, and that they should monitor for areas where they're not getting good emergence, or they may have pre-emergent or post-emergent damping off caused by the common seedling diseases like Pythium if it's been wet, Fusarium, Rhizoctonia, and in soybean, Phytophthora has been a big issue the last several years too. In the weeks following that, there's a number of things that we'll be watching for. In soybean, I mentioned Phytophthora as a soybean disease, but that disease can kill soybeans all the way through the season, even adult plants late in the season. And so if you've had a problem with Phytophthora, it's still there. And anytime you have low wet conditions or wet soils for a long time, we have a risk for that. In addition, though, there's other things that we're watching, and on the corn side, early in the season, we have seen some development of bacterial leaf streak. We've confirmed that disease, in fact, in I think 74 counties now. And so if they see lesion development on lower leaves that's between the veins, looks a little yellow to tan, streaking, that might be what that is. And don't mistake that for the fungal disease gray leaf spot. And if they have any questions, I hope they'll send in samples to the Plant and Pest Diagnostic Clinic. And we know that there's a new disease called tar spot. And this disease in corn was first reported and was a big problem in Central America. Well, in 2015, that disease developed in northern Indiana and northern Illinois. And for the first 3 or 4 years, it didn't do very much. It didn't cause much yield loss. It didn't spread very far. But in the last 2 years, in 2019 and 2018, when we had wetter conditions and cooler growing conditions, well, those are optimal for that disease, and it spread much further and faster, and it was severe. In some of those fields, they required fungicide applications for mitigation, and also it caused up to 50% yield loss in the worst cases. It's not common, but we've watched that disease move closer to Nebraska, and it's within one county of us in western Iowa. And we hope everyone in the eastern counties especially will be on the lookout for they look like black dots on leaves, and those are the fungal structures caused by the fungus that causes tar spot. It literally looks like someone splattered paint or black paint or tar on these leaves. And we want to monitor for it because it will overwinter and it'll develop year after year. And we want to monitor its severity and let people know in those counties that it has moved into the state. So that's one thing for sure I'd watch for in 2020.